Wow, there's skeletons in the closet. Yeah, you're electing a new pope. Yeah, there she is. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's me, Mikey Pipes, and Peter Piper +1. TGIF, ladies and gentlemen, TGIF. It's Friday morning, February 3rd, 2023. We have two service calls this morning. Both are steam boilers, both with steam boiler issues. One is adding water to the boiler every couple days, and it's basically making a hissing sound. And the other one is a wet return leaking. It sounds like someone's getting a new boiler. What do you say, Peter?
I think so.
I think so too. Stick around, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, and let's get these jobs done.
Hi. Hey, how you doing? Good. Mike, good to meet you, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You are?
Um,
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were. Looked like you were leaving, like you're like a guest.
Peter again.
I saw you last
Peter, yeah. He knew the side door.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
I got the rags in case we need them.
Oh. Why? What's for eggs for?
No, I just thought just in case, yeah.
Okay, lead the way.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm very impressed with your video.
Oh, really? Which video?
I saw, I was like...
Wanna go first?
You come
We're
in.
gonna dance.
Yeah,
We can
because
kiss too, no?
I got two cats, and they're not going to run out, but I got to worry. I want to bring you to the kitchen first, I guess. Come on.
We're in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay.
You said that,
How long has this been going on for?
yeah, about a month and a half.
You want to replace the boiler?
Of course not.
How old is it?
You know how old's my boiler? I think you guys knew, 60.
Oh my God! This thing is burning hot.
Yeah, so I know that that's a problem, but what the guys did for me is they...
You know who Dan Hollahan is? He's a very smart guy. He's the last of the dead men that are alive. Wow, look at that. That's pretty cool, actually. We could. Wow, that is awesome. All right, so you have you may have high pressure.
Huh?
You may have a high pressure issue here. So I'm here because you're adding water to the boiler every 2 days, and you have a hissing sound. Is this a hissing sound?
This is bad. Peter and Daniel...
No. Hold on. One thing at a time.
Okay.
I am here because you're adding water to the boiler every 2 days, and there is a hissing sound. Is that correct?
That is true.
Okay. Is this the hissing sound?
This is...
Or one of the hissing sounds?
The primary one. There's
How many others are there?
One more.
Is that why there's 3 vari valves there? Who's the third one for? Is that for my pocket?
I just wanted to... I wanted to err on the side of...
Can I see the boiler?
Yes.
Is it downstairs?
Yes.
Okay. That was a trick question, by the way. All right. Michael Henry, Attorney General. Did he win?
No, but the thing is, I didn't vote for him, but I have a cousin
Yes.
named Michael Henry.
Does this,
So, and he...
Wow, that is a beauty.
So I got him a sign.
You have, wow, this is a very old Whale McLean boiler.
Yeah, these all come off here. I can take one off here.
Wow.
Yeah, this thing
Let's
is-
take a look at
yeah.
your boiler.
I'm going to go in the head.
So we have
Yeah.
like 1.5 pounds of pressure. That's a vapor stat, by the way. Vapor gauge. Technically a pressure gauge. That is a pressure troll behind it. We have a, oh, did I see something drip here? Oh, yep, there it is. We have the angle tube, balancing tube off the McDonald Miller number 67 low water cutoff. Oh, let's see this thing. Well, that's not good. Nothing happened. We do have sight glass water level, but nothing's coming out of the... Oh, that's because there's a valve there. Okay. I guess that valve doesn't work anymore. First inspection. Looks like it is. It looks like an 1868, but that's not it. Maybe a 12.
Oh, it's like a 6'8".
A 6'8", maybe 8.
That's 68.
8, 1868. First inspection. WIS was a serviceman from Loco.
Is that 54 years ago?
Wow.
54
Look at the relief valve. The relief valves back in the days didn't have drip legs, right? Do not use pipe wrench. Wow. This is a beauty. You just heard the pressure troll click. If there's a call for heat, we'll still have a boiler operation for you. This is impressive.
Okay.
Let's take the front cover off. Let's take a peek inside here. Wow. Well, McLean. Let's see. Okay. Nice pilot generator. Fairly clean down there. There's our pilot flame. I wish someone didn't do that though, but it is what it is. Wow. Impressive. You have a gas line to your fireplace?
Yes.
Smart. Very nice. You got some corrosion there where the domestic coil would be. Wow. You don't normally see them this old. Still in operation. Very nice. So the number one thing with, have you done your homework? You seem like an educated guy. Own your own home probably. Right? You don't rent the house. Almost.
2 more years.
Number one thing with steam is that it's a beautiful way of heating a home. Because those radiators, once they get hot, they radiate for hours afterwards. And as soon as, one kid touches it, they'll never touch it again. But concern is, a couple concerns. Number one, the amount of hissing coming out of the kitchen radiator air valve, which is secondary to my main concern, which is adding water every 2 days. Which is probably because you have two, one being substantial, one being not so substantial, steam radiator air valves leaking. That's more than likely the majority of the leakage. You have also a leak on that low water cutoff. I'm a fan of if it ain't broke, don't touch it. But it is broke, and I don't want to touch it. This little leak right here and there, and also coupled with the fact of, I know you have the ball valve on the drain line for the low water cutoff, but that's, I don't know. I guess we'll change your air valve for you. Any questions?
Where is the air valve, and what exactly are we changing? I'm not sure about those.
Well, we're talking about the air valve on the radiator.
Oh, that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's an air valve.
Well, we changed it the last visit, but we changed it.
What, the one in the kitchen?
To a cheap one that was in, to a cheap
who?
one I had here.
A cheap one that you had here. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I got the better one.
Yes. Where's the steam main valves?
Over by the...
Let's go see. So this is towards the front of the house. Here is your dry return, which then goes this way. And where does it go? It drops down. And now that becomes your wet return. But there should have been a steam main air valve here. That's a radiator, this is a radiator, and that's a radiator. But there's no steam main there. Skeleton's in the closet. He doesn't look too happy. He's all bones.
He's dead.
He's definitely dead. All right, well, at least there's insulation. I just want to take a peek at the other one again. And here is the other. We have, looks like it appears to be a 6-inch nipple on it with the coupling, and then a main steam air valve up in the top. And that looks like it's going to a radiator that way. Crawl space. Okay. All right, this door stays open.
It's just a novelty, right?
$2 bills? Yeah, it's like a dollar coin.
Yeah.
You know? Or how about a $20 buffalo? Golden buffalo. Those are nice. Imagine you can buy those $20.
Do you know, I grew up in Mineola, and my last name's Witt, right?
Yes.
So I've actually...
All right, we have another one here we're going to change. It's kind of hot still. Okay. Low pressure. If that was high pressure and you walk by that, it'll cut you in half. So Peter, you know, years ago, we're talking like a century ago, over a century ago, you know, the steam was the dominant means of locomotion, basically movement of things, right? And, you know, they had the steam locomotives and also steam ships, right? And if they were sensed that there was a problem with the a leak in the system, right? The sailors in the boiler room, you know, they would walk ahead of them with a straw broom, right? Because it was a high pressure system, and if there was a leak in there, you would not see the steam, and it would cut you in half as you walk by it. So that's pretty. Shows you the power of steam. Now, this is a residential system that normally runs or should be running at a half a psi of pressure to provide adequate heat. And but you'll never run into that. But you see how carefully we took off this air valve so we don't get hurt.
Okay.
Wow.
Can you put the key in?
Yeah, put the pin in. So that locks it. Just like that?
It's really... Yeah, and it
So
should be
cool.
on a chain.
And you have a
they
latch,
just dangle.
too. Yeah.
They dangle. And the people were so paranoid they had that.
Wow. How old's the house?
Probably 1930-ish.
Wow. So back to the boiler. We do have that leak there. And that's part of... That's not helping. But you open up a can of worms here. Because then it'll lead to the low water cutoff and whatever.
You've heard this one, I think. So.
I don't think he's heard the story before.
Not this one. Okay.
So in the early 1900s, right, we had this pandemic, and it wasn't COVID, right? It was called
Spanish flu,
where millions upon millions of people died, right? And the living room used to be called the parlor room, right? Okay. That they changed that name. Actually, I think Women's Daily Journal, one of these magazines that was a well-known publication at the time, rephrased or renamed the parlor to the living room because that's where they honored the living back in the days. Right?
instead of the dead folk.
Yes. So, because millions of people died, you actually took your dead family members and put them in the parlor, and before yeah, so that's where funeral parlor came into be. But back in the days, in the early 1900s, steam was one of the primary means of heating structures, heating homes, heating buildings, right? But because this whole Spanish influenza thing was rolling around, people left their windows open, right? So you needed a boiler, right? That with steam, obviously, that was large enough where it can heat the structure while the windows are open. Which is easily possible, right? Because those cast iron radiators, they hold a tremendous amount of heat for hours upon hours. But that's only the second reason over a timeline of the history of steam boilers that the boilers were oversized. The primary reason, right, was before there was oil, oil guns that plumbers put on boilers, there was coal. And in this neighborhood, in Rockville Center and other neighborhoods, these majestic homes, even small little homes, right? You had a coal chute, and the boiler operator, which want to guess who was? Who was the boiler operator of the home? Take a wild guess. The woman, the wife of the house, right? The wife of the house, right? So she knew how to operate the boiler because she would shovel coal into that. Right, because she was home during the day, because that's how things were back in the days, right? The women stayed at home, the men were the breadwinners, right? But the women took care of the home, right? I still am a firm believer in that, by the way, but nonetheless. But you had in a coal-fired steam boiler, you had a very small little surface area where the woman would shovel the coal into, right?
But the men who worked, hopped in the train, went into the city, with their suit and tie. They would, on the weekends, they wanted to entertain. They wanted to have some fun with this boiler, and they would shovel some coal in there. However, men were sloppy, and if you read very, very old texts on steam boiler operation from the early 1900s, you're going to see that the boiler engineers and designers and manufacturers of these machines, right, specifically made the boiler area 25% larger to account for the husband who was a mess shoveling coal into it, right? So that's the primary reason boilers were oversized back in the days, because the husband didn't really care. He was just shoveling coal into the effing boiler, all right? But the women was the one who operated the boiler 5 days out of the week. So boilers were oversized from the get-go because men, right? And then the Spanish flu came around. Now here's where you have this oversized boiler in your home, right? In the 1940s, 1950s, 1930s, you had, coal, which was converted to oil. And then natural gas came around, and, the utilities were running gas pipes down the streets and hooking up houses. And the plumber's responsibility would be to, okay, I got to retrofit this boiler or put in. I can't retrofit the boiler for gas, but we're going to change the boiler. And because the gas boiler is so much smaller, okay, let's say you had a 40% or 50% oversized boiler now, and they're taking out this Volkswagen Bug in your basement, the Beetle, right? And they're putting this tiny little boiler. Like, well, what happens if it doesn't work right? So they oversize the boilers as well. And no one really cared because the cost of all this fuel was nothing. Until the 1970s, early 1970s, where the OPEC oil embargo came into play in the late 70s, early 80s, EPA case started rolling around, and that's where we started talking about efficiency. But it wasn't until more recently where we actually measure, and in order for me to give you a price.
All right, well, we left that homeowner, very educated, very nice guy, by the way, a lot of history in that home. We left him with a plethora of information, just the way I just left all you guys with a plethora of information. Look at that. We even spoke about the Spanish flu.
Yeah.
You see? See how I educate and also entertain? Well, I gave the gentleman a price to make some repairs, which I really would not like to make because the age of the boiler justifies replacement. We have almost 600 degrees of stack temperature going up out of this boiler. It's a lot of waste. So I gave a price to replace the boiler, putting in a properly sized Steam Max boiler by Burnham. 2 sizes smaller, by the way. You heard the little education there with history and how boilers were oversized grossly. And people kept the windows open. So I gave him some pricing options, gave him some financing up to 5 years, 60 months, interest-free financing. Yes, we offer that. And we're up to the next. All right. So stick around. We're making this a duo, a Friday duo,
Doubleheader.
a doubleheader Friday. All right. Please smash that thumbs up button. And if you need a website for your HVAC or trades business, check out footbridgemedia.com. Link in the description box down below. Several people have signed up for it. I already got a lot of feedback. I have a great website that this company put together with no contract, no commitment, just $250 a month. Put you on the map on Google. All right, let's go to the next service call. You ready, Peter?
Ready.
Service call, Friday, February 3rd, right? Yep. 2023. Steam, wet return piping leaking. Let's go see what's going on. Hi. How are you? Good morning. Oh yeah, here you have a pipe leaking in the basement, steam wet return.
Yeah.
So let's wait until the jury's back.
It's been sorry.
I've been here before. I was in your crawl space, wasn't I? Was I in that hole?
Yeah.
I was in that hole.
Yes, you were.
I was in this hole.
Relax there. So basically, it's
jeez.
it's right. Here's the return. The leak is like right here. I put.
All right, so here is the partially unfinished laundry room. We have 1-inch piping. It goes there. And then across here to there, which goes all the way back there. And then goes all the way back there to the boiler. All right, so at this point of the service call, I didn't record a lot of what transpired, but it turns out that I heard just some weird noises coming from the boiler. It sounded like steam escaping. And sure enough, we look in the combustion chamber, all of the burner tubes are all rusted up, and we have a leaker. So we go outside and we see this.
Yeah, you're electing a new pope. Yeah, there she is.
So if you notice very, very carefully, you will see that it is actually white smoke. You know, sometimes the grayish, you know, fireplace smoke could look a little bit off color there, but it's actually white smoke. So that was caused by the hole or the crack above the water line in the cast iron boiler. The Burnham SIN6, which is also grossly oversized for this home. They're getting a Steam Max 100, and it sucks, but an observant technician is observant of his surroundings. Ain't that right?
It's true.
See? An observant technician is aware of his surroundings. Now, while we didn't take a deposit on the replacement boiler, we did secure the job for next week to replace roughly under 60 feet of 1-inch black pipe. We're going to use the Viga Mega Press to minimal evasiveness, a minimal evasive procedure.
Yes.
There it is. Now I sound like a doctor making millions of dollars a year. Minimal evasive procedure in their basement.
Minimally invasive.
Invasive. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let me get the thumbs up. And please consider subscribing. I think we have, I don't know, a lot of subscribers right now. Let me look. It's a lot. Let's see. Peter, how many subscribers do you think we have right now?
104.
There it is. 117,716. That's tits.
That's pretty sweet.
You know what's very upsetting?
What?
So many people complained on the video I created where Air Force Nun was attacking Christian with the cucumber.
Oh, I heard
This is
about
where
that.
the Reverend called, and people thought Frankie got fired because he did a side job.
People thought that's why he got fired.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right, but so many people complained, so you have to be over 18 now to watch that video on YouTube.
that's why.
I'm gonna actually post it on the Uncensored channel to all those trolls out there that are hating. A lot of haters out there, by the way. A lot.
People love to hate.
People love to hate. They hate on the success of another person.
If you think negatively,
Do unto others as you have done, do unto you.
exactly.
Matthew 22:39. I just made that shit up. All right, guys. Catch you in the next one. Be well. God bless. Stay safe.